Hi friends and new friends, I'm Tao of Satoshi, and you're watching Cash Alternative TV. Well, today I sat down with two folks from Wall of Coins. One was Robert Genito, who's the CEO, and the other one was Albert Arellanes, who's the campaign manager. We discussed Wall of Coins, their proposals to the Dash network, and why they're involved in Dash and where do they see it going in the future. Hope you enjoy. All right, so on this episode of Cash Alternative TV, I have Robert Genito. He's the CEO of Wall of Coins, and Albert Arellanes. He is the project manager for Wall of Coins. So welcome to the show, Robert.
Hey, thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
And welcome to the show, Albert.
Hi, thank you.
So for the viewers that aren't familiar with you, it's more kind of like a get to know you. So could you please give a quick description of yourself, Robert, and how you got into digital currency?
Yeah, I'm the project leader and manager and director for Wall of Coins, the service. Bitcoin, of course, that's the first currency for many individuals, but I got into Bitcoin, really got into it in 2011. I'd heard about it in 2010, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't understand it then. I didn't see why it was useful. I think this is important for us all to realize, is that other people are having the same problem. Why are these currencies useful? And then so the next year, I began mining a lot, just doing mining like crazy, and that was my introduction.
Okay. How about you, Albert? How did you get involved with digital currency?
First of all, I'm Albert. I'm the campaign manager for Wall of Coins, and I got introduced to digital currencies through a mutual friend Robert and I have, and I honestly had no idea what Bitcoin was, never even heard of it. And then Robert told me about the Dash proposal that Wall of Coins was doing. I believe it was in late August, maybe early September for the first time, and being new to digital currencies, I was just pretty much intrigued by the whole concept about it, and just started doing my own homework on Dash and bought my first Dash in either late September or early October. I can't really recall, but it was like 10 Dash, and I just thought it was interesting to see what would potentially happen with the digital currency. And yeah, just
A quick off topic. I really love that chair you're sitting on.
Thank you. I love it.
That's a pretty sick...
Everybody talks about your chair.
I'm 6'4", so I needed a tall back chair, and I was willing to throw down some money for it.
Yeah, it looks like you're in a race car or something.
Yeah.
So before we get to your guys' involvement in Dash, let's talk a little bit about Wall of Coins. What is Wall of Coins? It's a fiat to Dash exchange, correct?
We like to, I guess, market it as a marketplace, not an exchange, just because we are matching people with the easiest option to exchange fiat to Dash or Bitcoin, but let's keep it to Dash. But marketplace just sounds more of a pleasant atmosphere, I guess, versus just say, okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's trade cash for Dash.
Okay. Robert, what was the catalyst for starting Wall of Coins? How did it come about?
Okay. Well, there's the real catalyst, and then there's how we developed. Well, you know, I was working with another individual. I was working on ATM software before Lamasu was around, before any of this. It was probably while Lamasu was working on ATM software as well, and you know, creating it for another individual and all this. I just thought, well, why not turn all of the existing infrastructure in the world into ATMs? So that's what came about with Wall of Coins, to approach these things differently. First and foremost, in the mining world, Genito has the service HashingPlex, or hashingplex.com, and we had a lot of sellers or a lot of miners who were looking to liquidate their Bitcoin, and they really needed as much leverage as they could get. They could sell their Bitcoin on exchanges, and I and another individual approached them, and they were using our service already, to say, you know, it's much more valuable for people to get cryptocurrencies immediately. It's much more valuable for people, you know, especially if they're investors or speculators on the price. Bitcoin, Dash, all of these cryptos, they're faster than fiat money itself. So there's some value to that. Likewise, whenever you are, when you're using an institutional exchange, you're consistently paying for wiring fees, or you're waiting 2 to 3 days for an ACH transaction, or maybe 5 days for an ACH transaction, or maybe lower. Or perhaps you liquidated at a price that Coinbase didn't like, and they decided to change your liquidated amount that they give to you later, which does happen. To solve this, we told the sellers, you know, we will sell your coins for you. We'll do all of this for you. We'll vet the buyer. We'll make sure they're not some man-in-the-middle payment attacker. Somebody, we'll make sure they pay they'll pay you, and you don't have to deal with any of that. And we'll get you a higher price. And this way, it'll help with your mining efforts. So this is where Wall of Coins started. You can look on Wall of Coins in Google Images, and you can see some old ways that Wall of Coins looked. But first, we serviced only the sellers. You couldn't even go to Wall of Coins to buy Bitcoin. And then now today, it pairs people up together. That's where Wall of Coins started, and that's what we're doing today.
Okay, sounds good. Albert, can you describe for me, if I wanted to sell my Dash or buy Dash, I guess we'll start with buying Dash. How would I do it on Wall of Coins?
So, or pretty much on Wall of Coins, it's straightforward. You just go to the buy button at the top, click buy, find your location, or use the Find My Location service in order to find the best payment option near you so you can make the transaction quicker, and just go from there. We want to be able to essentially match you with the best possible option in order to trade your fiat with Dash, for Dash, okay, I should say.
Okay, so it's like a love connection for Dash sellers and buyers.
Yeah, so for one example that I love that Robert told me when I first started working with Wall of Coins was that we are the Expedia of buying cryptos. We want to be able to give you the best possible option for the rate.
Okay, sounds good. So that would be a way that Wall of... Okay, go ahead.
We just don't want people to have to sift through tons of data, because newbies or people who are getting into the currency for the first time, that's a lot of friction. When you show them these order books, and it's good to have that information, but you show them these different order books and say, okay, pick one of them and choose.
Yeah, it's
this is a lot of friction. It's scary.
For sure. And people that are involved in digital currency are just like, wow, I can send this money around the world like in seconds. And then it's when you compare it to the legacy banking system, it just doesn't even come close. Like we're on the cutting edge of something great here. So, and you guys are kind of like the gatekeepers for a lot of people trying to get into that world.
We're also the gate opener. So many people have come to us and said like, oh, great, I could finally figure out your service. Or they would tell us, we'd say, okay, well, what's your Bitcoin address? What's your Dash address? Because we don't require people to give this to us immediately. Those are people we help them set up a wallet. And we'll even have some people, they're so happy to finally get Dash. They're so happy to finally get into this world. And we'll say, what's your address? Or what's your Bitcoin address, for example? And they'll say, oh, is it my email? That's what I use to log into Coinbase. Say, figure out how to buy on their own service. Like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I forgot how hard it was.
I think Amanda did it well when she was doing their Dash school. Like that was her first thing that she kind of likened digital currency to was email. She said that, you know, everybody understands email and it's kind of like email, but it's not because anyone can duplicate email. But I think that is a good kind of a little bit of analogy. Like you have your email address and you have your Dash address and your Bitcoin address, but with the evolution, it's going to be a lot easier. You're just going to say, okay, I want to send money to Robert, and that's it. And I want to send money to Albert. So, but we'll get to that later.
Well, you know, I've realized that everybody wants to do that. They want to use some of their identifying information to be a way to receive these payment currencies. And almost everyone is on the same page of why can't I use my email, or why can't I use my phone number, or etc. Yeah, I don't even think it'll matter in the future. I mean, technically, you could say they exist anyways. I mean, if you wanted to get really specific about it, but either way, it works better than other money works today. When more people are familiar with what an address is used for, it's not a hard concept. It's just a new concept that you need somebody you trust to tell you about it.
Absolutely. So Albert,
once we get some critical mass, everyone will understand.
For sure. So Albert, we went through the buying. How about the selling? What's the procedure for a seller to sell on Wall of Coins?
To be honest, selling is my favorite part of Wall of Coins.
Okay.
Just because you all you have to do is sign up, need your phone number so you can log into your account, so you can get text or SMS messages so you can verify deposits that you've received for selling your crypto, or Dash, sorry. So sign up, make an account, choose your preferable payment destination. I'll be honest, Bank of America is my favorite for Wall of Coins. Created my Bank of America advertisement, type in my account number, my name on the account, fund Dash to my seller ad via cold storage with Wall of Coins service, and just sit back, relax, and I guess wait till I get a text message. And once I get a text message, just log into my bank account, see that I actually got the deposit, and confirm the deposit.
See, those are very mechanical things too. Like that's the whole, like when you experience Wall of Coins, it's so much easier. We just ask, look, we only need to know how to contact you. We need to know how we're going to pay you, or how someone's going to pay you, and what sort of pricing do you want. And then we give you a QR code you can send to us. We sell it on your behalf, and we take care of all the communicating with customers. We take care of course, helping the customers set up. We do all of that. You don't have to deal with it. You just have to tell us, I got a text message saying I just got $160. Sweet. You just have to tell us if you got that. We'll look into it.
So you guys are based in the United States. Is Wall of Coins only available in the United States, or is it worldwide?
It's not just based. Well, we are not just based in the United States. We're in about 20. I think 20 countries right now, maybe 21 if I'm mistaken, and we're just constantly growing.
Maybe 25.
Yeah. I don't know, we're just constantly growing, and if someone is interested in selling with Wall of Coins, they just need to contact myself either on Dash Nation Slack at Arellanes, and we can certainly look into adding your country. And pretty much the main thing that we would need is, are you wanting to sell your Dash? And once you're if you're wanting to sell, then boom, your country can be set up within like 30 minutes.
Okay, well, I want to tell you about my experience with you guys. I sold, I got a one Dash tip on the Dash Nation Slack, actually.
Nice.
And I sent it right to Wall of Coins. I wanted to test out your service, and for me, it went very smoothly. I did the information like you said, and I got a text message about a couple of days later saying that somebody deposited money. And sure enough, the money was in my account. I just clicked the code to accept it, and boom, that was it. It was very frictionless. It was I had a very good experience. So I give you guys credit for having a good experience. And also, having talked with you in Phoenix, I can tell you guys are good guys, and I encourage anyone to try out your service.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for putting Dash up to be available for others to get that. The buyers really appreciate it. you know, like any business system or whatever you'd call it, there are customers who have their complaints, but a great majority of people are really appreciative of our sellers. They'll tell us, this is a dream come true. Like, okay, great. Now I don't have to jump through whatever hoops. I feel like you guys cared about me getting this. We're happy to help.
Awesome. Good to have you guys on board in Dash Nation. So now let's get to your involvement in Dash. I guess I'll start with you, Robert. How did you first hear about Dash?
Well, I first heard of it when it was dark, and I was really interested in dark coin. I held a good chunk of dark coin, and when Dash was rebranded, I followed it, and I didn't really understand a lot of the new things that were happening. But you know, finally, it was Joel Valenzuela that told me, "Hey, man, Dash is awesome. You got to look into it." I'm like, "Okay, yeah. I've looked at dark coin. I've looked at Dash. I get it." He's like, "Oh, no. They've made developments." He was very excited about it. Like everyone else is, they're extremely excited about Dash because Dash is doing something very novel and very much needed today. And I looked more into it. I thought, oh, this is a little different than I remember, and very excited. Dash is the only cryptocurrency. Dash is the only network that realizes human labor is the only real scarce thing. And Dash is the only cryptocurrency that is taking advantage of that in its governance. That's awesome. People and businesses can be hired to do real laborious things or things that the network needs to push forward. And that's exciting. We can get work done.
Let's see. What aspects of Dash intrigue you the most?
Love it. The governance.
Yeah, the governance?
Yeah.
Because I find that
the fact that, the simple fact that human beings can be rewarded in the currency as well for doing more than just mining. Mining, there's people with many more talents other than mining or other than system operations or understanding software or whatever. There's many more people that any cryptocurrency ecosystem needs. You need people who are familiar with marketing, people who are, like yourself, putting out the time to talk to others in the industry and to share that information with people. Graphics artists, people who are creating different types of apps for Dash, like Dash Pay. Like, that's sweet. So just that mere fact that the community can vote and fund this labor it's extremely novel. It's huge. And it's crazy that Dash is the only system that is doing this. And that's amazing. That's by far my favorite thing about Dash. It's huge.
Okay, how about you, Albert? What attracted you to Dash?
Pretty much, well, when Robert introduced or told me about Dash, that's when I had to start doing my homework. And I was very interested in the governance, like most people, but also the concept behind masternodes. I like the fact that it was a way that essentially you're supporting the network to allow for like instant send and whatnot, and just like essentially normal person terminology that with masternode you got dividends essentially for supporting the network, and you can do with what you see fit with your payout, as well as vote on what you think is most attractive to you personally that you want to see happen to the network. And it doesn't have to agree with what everyone else does.
Yep, that's good. The one thing that I want to add is that I think in Dash, we kind of make it fun, don't we? Like in the open house, I sent a tweet out that's saying Dash Nation is about changing the world and having fun at the same time. And there's a gentleman, Talk Normal, on the Dash Nation Slack. He once posted on Bitcoin Talk, he says, running a Bitcoin node is boring. No one wants to do it. running a Litecoin node, boring, no one wants to do it. Running a Dash node, people are killing to get into it, to do it. It's fun, you learn things, people support each other, and it's great. The attitude in this community is just fantastic. And I'm happy that you guys recognized that and joined us.
Very happy to be part of Dash Nation.
You know, this is making me think of all sorts of things that are my favorite things about Dash. There's a lot. Instant send, like, thank you, masternodes. You can sign off for me to let there be confidence in my transaction. I mean, I recently received a transaction. It didn't have. I recently received a transaction, not in Dash, of course, because this would never happen with Dash. Fee of 0.01 Bitcoin. Okay, whoops, I gave out that currency. And for those techie people that understand transactions on the lower level, there was no dust or anything weird about the transaction, and it had a large fee, which statistically makes it more likely that this will confirm for me. Well, 48 hours later, there was no confirmation, and it got dropped off the network, and that was a real pain in the butt. So thank you, masternodes, for me being able to, you being able to sign it and say, okay, this transaction is definitely going to go through. So I don't see Dash hitting that problem, but oh man, there's so many more things that are my favorite than Dash. The community, people are super friendly in the community. They're very cooperative. Thank you all.
And I think the leadership in Dash understands that this is not just a technical project. It's not just an economic project. It's also a social project, you know, and I think you need to have all three aspects. I did a video on this a little while ago. It says the 3 pillars of Dash. And I think that you need it. You need to have it in order to keep people involved. Like you say, there's more people involved than just technical people. We got now we have a channel on Dash Nation Slack called the Women of Dash, and they're just killing it. They're doing all kinds of blogs and videos and everything. And most other currencies just look at women and say, yeah, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. And in Dash, they're accepted and welcomed, and they're just I really love how that's turning out.
Well, it's true with the Western culture. You know, women, when they were girls, they were seeing commercials about playing with dolls instead of commercials of all sorts of like techie cool stuff. So the Western culture, at least in the Americas, Europe, and are known for this. Yet women have such a creative side to them. It is severely necessary for balance for this ecosystem. Okay, that's another favorite thing of mine. Sorry, I'm truly an evangelist for Dash, big time.
Okay, let the things pile up. But for me, when I first got into Dash, it was because of privacy. Like that was when I first heard about it. But then they came up with the master nodes and the instant send, and it seems like things are just piling up. And I could ask 10 people what they like about Dash, and I get 10 different answers. So it's pretty cool. So when you guys joined the Dash community, you just said, I'm going to be part of Dash Nation. How were you accepted when you joined the Slack? I guess I'll start with Albert on that one.
Well, first of all, when I first joined the Dash community, I believe it was December when Robert told me that I need to inform what's going on about the Dash integration to the community on the forums. And I was just like, okay, I guess this is my first crack at talking to everyone, and I was welcomed even on the forums. Usually when you're on the forums, it's more of a troll sense, I guess. And then when I believe earlier this year, I joined the Dash Nation Slack, which was awesome. I love the Dash. I think Dashbot says welcomes you to the Dash Nation Slack like as soon as you get in, and everyone just warm welcoming, and just whenever I feel like talking to anyone in the Dash talk, it's just pretty much casual. Or if I PM or DM someone, it's usually casual, and we always say like, oh, hello, nice to meet you, and whatnot. And that's very thoughtful, especially when you don't even know who you're talking to, especially if they don't have like a self-portrait, for example. Like it could be a picture of anything, or the basic Slack hash mark, I guess.
Yeah.
It's still very, very welcoming, even if you don't get to see exactly what the person looks like. It's still a warm environment.
I wasn't aware that, you know, when you go into a new group of people, there can be anxiety involved. This was something I forgot about in the internet sphere. To me that when you go into a new community, such as the Dash community, it can be it could be intimidating. If maybe you're the newbie that doesn't know much and they're going to be talking about all this technical stuff. And when you go into the community, it's not that. People are very warm and welcoming. And if there is a troll by any chance, people have your back immediately and supportive. And you're like, dude, it's a high school bully thing at lunch hour, and suddenly people that don't even know me are getting my back, and oh, I feel so loved.
Oh, just so people who,
I don't
go ahead.
I don't, I'm not really involved in a whole lot of communities. I used to be like an IRC, but a lot, but I always do hang out in Slack. It's the only thing that I consistently stay in.
Nice. I'm glad that you guys feel comfortable there. For the viewers that don't know, I'm the owner of the Dash Nation Slack, and I have a group of about 10 moderators who really don't have to work that hard, to be honest, because people in the Slack usually self-police. You know, they say, well, what are you doing? Like, this is against the rules here, and we don't have to really moderate that much. It's been a great environment to be a part of. And if there's any Bitcoiners, specifically Bitcoin Unlimited people who might share the same values as Dash, I invite you to check it out. It's a welcoming community, and we'd love to have you with us as well, such as Robert and Albert here. So I extend the invite to anybody who might be watching this that might want to pay attention to the happenings in Dash. So describe your experience. I guess I'll ask Robert this one. Describe your experience with submitting a proposal to the Dash network. How did that go? Your first one, because the first one failed, I think, right?
Yeah, the first one failed 2 months and then passed the third month. I had a lot of fun creating the proposal. That's a lot of my work that I enjoy anyways, is talking about, you know, how things will be specified or planned out and who's working on what. I had a lot of fun creating it. Even had the Braveheart character, Mel Gibson, with his blue stripe screaming, "Freedom!" But posting, you know, posting a proposal, it's cool because you realize that you're going to be able to use your talents or use your system or whatever it is to benefit a community immediately. And then the community asks really good questions. It can be a little, some people might perceive it a little tedious, but that planning process needs to happen anyways. It needs to be communicated to the community properly. I don't know if, as far as like other proposals, well, yeah, other proposals, they'll get some trolls here and there, but the trolls end up giving you the best questions to answer. I wish I could write more proposals. There's all sorts of things. You know, in fact, whoever, not whoever, but a person who's watching this, another person, somebody please make a proposal just for buying a bunch of, and creating a bunch of Dash shirts, like for like wholesale costs to give them out to the community, inexpensive. If I had 3 other type of Dash shirts, I'd wear them. I have 1, and that makes me sad.
You have 1 more than I do.
You didn't buy one in Phoenix, Albert? Come on.
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I just have an iPhone, and I didn't feel like carrying my ledger around with me, and I don't like paper money. I never have paper money on me.
Yeah, that's definitely one of Dash's short-term goals, is to try to get on iOS, because for some reason they just don't like Dash, and we're trying to figure out why it is. They make other coins, they put other coins on there that have like way less market cap, and for some reason they deny Dash, and we're just trying to figure out why. We think maybe it's because we're going to be eventually a competition for them. You know, that's just a theory, but either way, like, come on, enough already. Just put us on the App Store.
It's probably more awesome than any passbook stuff that iOS has.
Right.
or the direction it's going in. No, I really don't know, but I'll be so happy again. I might just get an Android to switch because of it.
Yeah, it's I prefer iOS myself. I know because I'm what you call in the Dash community a dummy. Like I'm not very technological minded, so I use my people skills to help further Dash. But anything technical is kind of like I know a lot of people like Android because you can customize it and stuff. But for me, I just I'll take what's given to me, and if I like it, I like it. So I have a question for you guys. I don't know if instant send is instant send enabled on Wall of Coins, or if not, is there any plans to implement it in the future?
Yes, we always send transactions instant send. There are some like edge cases where we won't, but it'll still have a high fee. But pretty much, I don't think there's been a single transaction we haven't done instant send. That was part of our proposal to do the instant send. And it's not something we plan on giving up at all. That's really novel with Dash. We want people to have the full Dash experience. Okay,
so if I send you coins from my wallet instant send, they will show up instantly at Wall of Coins?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm a very technical person, and I deal with, while I'm not making the software, I am dealing with exceptions all the time. And the worst thing that could possibly happen is it doesn't get credited for 40 seconds. So wow. Yeah, it's pretty much instantly credited to your account. And because of our own system reasons, it could take at most 40 seconds if it doesn't pop up instantly.
Oh, that's too slow, man. I want to wait 48 hours for my Bitcoin transaction.
Yes.
Okay, so that's cool. I see that you guys are excited about Dash and you want to move it forward, so I'm happy that you guys are with us. Recently, I found out something through my interview with Charlie Shrem. He was saying that you actually attracted him to Dash, and can you tell us a little bit about that for the people that might not know?
I saw that episode. Charlie Shrem is a friend of mine, and I saw that episode, and I thought, oh, there's an episode with Charlie Shrem here. I'll watch it. I watched, and then I heard my name come up. It's like, so really, to be honest with you, I would figure a lot of people in the crypto space would be telling him about Dash. I did, Charlie trusts me. Perhaps the moment was when he was at our office, and I just wanted to be frank with him about the good things going on with Dash. I let him know. He asked me some questions. I was surprised to hear that I was credited for that, but I don't know how to say it other than Albert's been around me a lot, and he's seen this many times, and perhaps you have as well. I'm very frank with what I'm saying, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, and people realize this. So if I say, hey, a lot of people talk about Bitcoin has no problems, just pay a high enough fee. I'm not going to argue with them. I'm going to be frank with them and say that's the idea behind it, but that's not what's really happening. And when it comes to things like Dash, and I'm talking to people, I'll tell people, I'll say, Dash is something you really want to consider. I understand that many OGs understand that a lot of scam coins come out. They're scam coins, let's just put it that way, or coins that are not really solving a problem. And people in the industry are inundated with that. People like Charlie, Roger Ver, etc. They're just inundated with all these many coins. And Eric Voorhees, Shapeshift, you're going to find out about all these different coins, right? So Dash was just too novel to not speak up. And I had to speak up and just let him know, just like others, like, look, you've got to look at what Dash is doing. They're doing something very valuable for the world here. And has a much bigger chance, not bigger chance, but has a much, it will change the world.
Yeah, Ryan touched on it in Phoenix. He now believes that Dash's success is inevitable. And I guess we'll see if that's overconfidence in the long run, but I could see what he's talking about. When I was there, I felt the electricity in the room along with you guys, and I believe that that's, you know, we have a really good chance of succeeding if we just keep doing what we're doing. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. You know, we got the Desert Lynx involved. I'll be honest, like I saw him on Twitter and I got him involved, and then he gets you involved, and then you get Charlie Shrem involved, and like the snowball just keeps going. And we have all these people that are helping with their talents through Dash Nation, and it's really incredible to watch. So I'm really happy.
We have to remember that Dash is already successful, and however we feel it's going to be in the future, that's already happened. The foundation that Dash has, and when I say foundation, I mean like the bottom layer foundation. I don't really mean like a company that's a foundation or the Bitcoin Foundation or Dash.org or whatever. The foundation of Dash is really strong. Much more things that resemble money, or resemble the scarcity of money, or resemble how money is working for the digital future, the digital cash. There's a lot of components besides a ledger that creates a block of transactions every 10 minutes, and people are securing it through, you could just say, random guesses, and proving that you're doing the work for random guesses. There's a lot more involved to money. As the governance layer, I mean, you hear this all the time. That's just voting. It's a lot more social. It's a lot more cooperative. And that's the only way money can exist. It has to be cooperative. It has to be scarce too, but oh well.
For sure. Do you have anything to add to that, Albert? Any thoughts on how Dash is going to be successful?
From my perspective, it mainly leans back towards the governance system. If we need something that essentially, in order for Dash to blossom to what it actually can be, digital cash, it has the governance system to back it up. Because the core team might not even have the idea that will make Dash flourish. It could be some random person that is brand new to Dash and has been involved in the community for like a couple weeks, and then they learn about masternodes and present a proposal, and maybe they have the idea, but the Dash core team has the resources in order to solve that. So,
and you guys have a unique
there's a lot of pieces that are going to be missing. I'm sorry, Tal, but yeah, there are a lot of unique pieces that are going to be missing that are important. And like, for example, this recent proposal we had in touched up on something that, you know, not everybody felt was necessary. Not everybody felt, hey, this needs to be embedded directly into the wallets. You know, however, this is one of many, many things that have to improve in the digital space for it to be something that we can all be happy with using. Something that can liberate us from the current pain in the butt system that we have.
Yeah, and you guys see
it's going to take a lot of minds.
And you guys see the differences between the Bitcoin community, and like you're definitely a part of the Bitcoin community too, as well as Coin serves Bitcoin, and the Dash community, which you can see how we have our differences in Dash, but through the masternode system, we're able to say, okay, well, we're going to fund this because we believe in this. We're not going to fund this because we don't believe in that. We don't let the arguments fester for so long as Bitcoin has, and people become more and more entrenched in their positions. And now they're in a position where they can't even compromise anymore because they're just so entrenched, you know. One side says SegWit's the answer, the other side says this. They said, we're going to terrorize Bitcoin Unlimited, or SegWit's going to do this. You know, and they have no way of getting past it, and it's kind of frustrating. If I was like in Bitcoin, I'd be frustrated. In Dash, we do.
Absolutely. And you know what I see changing in the future, in the near future, and Robert, is many people in the Bitcoin sphere or whatever other cryptocurrency sphere, many people who realize that the success of this in general, the success of humanity being on a different platform of money, or a more fair platform, or however you want to put it, for that to manifest, for that to happen, I truly see many more people in the Bitcoin world who aren't concerned with ego leaving that world to come to a much more cooperative Dash world, a cooperative world that is democratic and just votes and moves on and changes quickly and doesn't fester about things, as you said. So the Bitcoin world, I love the Bitcoin world. It's just as amazing. And to me, it feels like it's already over, or I just see that. I do see a lot more businesses that are much more cooperative bouncing out of the Bitcoin world or bouncing out of other cryptocurrency communities that are not as cooperative, not as elitist, etc. You do have that a little bit in the Bitcoin world, and that's fine. But if you're a cooperative person, Dash is going to pull people in like that. I'm a very cooperative person. It's pulled me in that direction. I really see that happening.
Okay, so that's Dash community in a nutshell. I see you want to say something else, so I'll let you say something else.
I was saying I close my eyes and I can see it.
Okay, so let's get to your current proposal. You want to integrate what is it, Wall of Coins into Dash wallets? Maybe not necessarily the core wallet, the reference client, but other wallets out there. Can you tell us a bit more about that proposal?
Yeah. So it looks like we're giving it some more time, but it looks like, sorry, we're giving the vote on which wallets to have some more time. And it looks like what the people really want this to be integrated in is Jax, foremost, Exodus, the Dash Core wallet, and the Dash wallet for Android by Hash Engineering. And what I want to say is even the buying process on wallofcoins.com is a reference client. Wall of Coins was meant to be as decentralized as possible. The world, not everything can be decentralized at the moment, but it's building there. You have a lot of people saying, oh, you know, Dash Core, the Dash wallet for Hash Engineering, these need to remain reference clients. Keep that out. And it appears people, they want to use these reference clients. They want to see this embedded in there. They want to see the ability for plug-in services. And honestly, for plug-in services to be a part of the reference client are also a very positive thing. It becomes a reference and a model for others to see how it is done. Because after all, it's that open source product. And through this, many people are going to learn how to reapply that for future wallets, perhaps even in evolution. So we know evolution is going, evolution has some very futuristic things in mind that it's going to pull into the present. So I can't wait to get that started. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, and I really hope you guys are able to do it, because anything that reduces the friction in between the worlds of the legacy banking system right now and Dash is just, it will get my vote, and you have gotten my vote on that. So where do you see Dash in the future? Let's start with Albert on that question. Where do you see Dash going? Like, say, in the short-term future and the long-term future?
Yeah, well, I see Dash going to accessibility, I guess. What we've talked about, or you mentioned that you talked to Amanda about, was that people are more familiar with emails and understanding how the emailing system works versus, what is it, the 25-character address? But
35.
35, okay. Thank you.
Depends.
So the future of Dash essentially just mainly needs an easier way for anybody to adopt it, I guess, which email, since it's been around for what, 25 years, like everyone knows how to use email by this point in time. So like my fiance's 82-year-old grandpa uses email every day, and if you can just log into, I think that's how evolution is going to work. You just log into evolution via email, and you can see the amount of funds that you have available to make all your transactions. So essentially just easier adoptability for general consumers.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Robert?
So I've been really thinking about doing just a video post about this, just to spread the ideas. And sure, I'm going to have to do that. But to condense it shortly here, we're talking about the future of money. That's one of the futures we're talking about here. And I tell you truly, and I tell everyone truly, the future of money is no money. And Dash is going to bring it to there. Maybe 100 years, 200 years from now. Because the only real thing on this earth that is not abundant is human labor. And even that is abundant when you think about it. But Dash, the position that Dash is in, is crucial to this future. And I really feel that this year, I mean, if everybody sees the same image as myself, or if I can transmit that image, I don't see why Dash can't surpass Bitcoin this year by the market cap percentage. I just don't see why they can't, other than human fear. Because people are afraid of getting in at a bad price, or they're afraid this crypto or that crypto goes up too quickly. I can't possibly buy it now. But a lot of these cryptos, and especially Dash, are horribly undervalued. Their utility is huge. Their utility is strong. Having a master node is worth much more than 1,000 Dash. It's kind of weird if you try to wrap your mind around it, but it's extremely valuable. Anyways, I told Ryan Taylor this, and I truly believe it. If I'm wrong, fine. I don't care. If Dash is better and much more, sorry, it is better, but if Dash is more adopted than Bitcoin within the next year by a general community, I won't be surprised at all. And I truly believe that it's just a matter of time. Dash is used as a currency, as it is intended, as a people's currency that people use together. Even if the addresses stay exactly the same. Because when do you guys actually use a Dash address? I mean, when do you actually sit there and write it out or type it out? You never do. You show someone your QR code and they use that anyways, or you just hit a button to copy. Paste. So you're either hitting two buttons, you're scanning a QR code, maybe some NFC protocol is developed for this, or geolocation is used, and also this sort of stuff. I really feel all the pieces are together and being built.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about Dash's challenges too, and see if I can get your guys' input on that. I find the biggest inhibitor to the biggest inhibitor of Dash's growth is misinformation out there on the internet. Whether that's by design, people saying it because they just don't want Dash to succeed, or whether or not they actually believe it. But there's a lot of FUD out there, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And a lot of people have a hard time getting past that. And if you're watching this, I can tell you, and these two gentlemen can also tell you, that the people that claim that Dash is a scam could not be more wrong. And there's a lot of good things going on in the Dash community. And if you should do yourself a service and not listen to these people, because I'm sure there's going to be people at the bottom of this in the comment section that are going to say the same thing, Dash is a scam. But that's all they keep saying. They just keep saying Dash is a scam, Dash is a scam, Dash is a scam. Lots of coins at the beginning, Dash is a scam. But these people are living in 2014. This is 2017. Evans already said I have 256,000 coins. I don't have 2 million like everybody says I do. There's so much FUD around Dash. So if people take the time to actually do their research, as you two gentlemen have, they'll realize that Dash is a wonderful project, and they should be getting mad at these people that are holding them back. And I think this is the one thing that holds Dash back the most out of everything.
I'm weird. I really don't feel like that is holding Dash back. It's absolutely a distraction. The big question when you look at other currencies that I'll ask myself is this doing that Bitcoin isn't doing? Because Bitcoin's the model at the moment, right? Or I'll say, what novel thing is happening here? So I'll see something like Litecoin. I'll be like, what novel thing is happening here? Okay, nothing really that novel. Never mind. And no disrespect to the Litecoin world at all. And then I'll see, another coin. What is being done here? What problem is being solved? Now, people are very aware of problems in the Bitcoin world. And Dash a scam? Well, let's ask, is Dash solving real problems? Is it doing things that, is it doing novel things? It clearly is, unless you didn't want to look into it. And a lot of people don't want to look into these things. So the fear, uncertainty, doubt, etc. People have a right to feel that way. They do. Me, I'm not going to let it distract me from the work I know I have to do. And people who are in the Dash community, I urge all of you to, who cares about that fear, uncertainty, and doubt? You know where Dash is going. Already there. And don't be distracted by trolls and etc. Like, who cares? Enjoy this moment now where you're building something novel and revolutionary on top of other revolutionary technologies, such as revolutionary Bitcoin, revolutionary internet, revolutionary whatever. Enjoy this time. This is a very exciting time.
Very well said. No, I agree. Maybe the influence of the trolls is overrated, but as somebody who deals with them on a day-to-day basis, I guess they get in my head sometimes. So I just want to make sure, like, anybody out there who is listening to these trolls, please don't, and come and go to Dash Nation Slack and find out for yourself, because it really is an amazing project.
Well, and then when you bring up the scammers just constantly making comments, it's like, elaborate on it. Why is Dash a scam? And probably 99% of the time, it is going to be, well, what about all the instant mine coins? And then it's going to be the 500 billionth time it's going to be discussed. And by this, I don't know, by this time, it doesn't even need to, like, I don't know, just brush it off. It happened.
I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah.
The guy at the open house that was asking about it, I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm just sitting there listening, like.
Well, Amanda
people have a right.
Amanda also said that our token instant mine question that we get at every event, and it's true. Right? Somebody always asks about it everywhere.
Well, and then also bringing up the scam thing again, it makes me think of people that first got involved with Bitcoin. It's like, you had no idea what Bitcoin was, and now Bitcoin's been around since 2009. You need to see, or like, be open-minded as you were before about your interest in Bitcoin. It's like, you need to understand how cryptocurrencies need to adapt to the generations coming. We need to know how we can get it to the masses versus just sitting back and paying $20 transaction fees. You just need to just avoid all those repercussions, I guess.
I don't know.
So if someone says, what about this instant mine? It's like, well, what about Bitcoin's instant mine? What about Satoshi's coins? I mean, no matter what you possibly say about Dash, they're telling you what's a reflection of themselves, really, a reflection of their own greed and etc. And that still exists in Bitcoin. Anything you would bring up now, Tao, as being now, Tao. I like that.
Now, Tao,
anything you would bring up as or anything anybody could bring up, the reality is it does still apply with Bitcoin.
Okay. I don't know if you guys follow basketball or not, but it's one of my favorite videos, and I sometimes tell the trolls this when they're talking, and they keep saying the same thing over and over again without showing any proof. One of my favorite NBA videos is the Allen Iverson video where he says, "Practice, man. We're talking about practice, not the game. We're talking about practice. Practice, man." Like he says, like, practice like 25 times or something like that in the video. And I said, this is just like the trolls. They keep saying the same thing over and over again, and it's just so repetitive. And just anybody who's listening to them, please try to get past it and come join us on the Slack, and we'll show you what Dash is all about.
Show you the
Make them irrelevant by not talking about them.
Exactly. And unfortunately, I already
You know,
did.
like well, that's okay. But you go to the grocery store and you see all of these drama books and like, oh, look at Angelina Jolie, and she's about to kill. I just forgot her husband's name. I know his name, but she's about to kill him. All this drama stuff, and that's how relevancy is made. A troll is only as relevant as you let them be relevant. They have a right to ask these questions, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's like that skeptical person who's protecting their mindset, and you can never give them enough evidence, and it's fine.
Yeah, and I will also add something that Amanda says, that because Dash is being so successful, that's why we're getting these trolls, and it's actually an indicator of success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Well, I appreciate having you guys on the show. Thanks for coming on. I'd like to have you on in the future again with some more developments from Wall of Coins. And so thanks to you. Albert, do you have anything extra to say in closing?
I just want to say thank you very much for having myself and Robert on the show. And I actually never thought I'd be on Cash Alternative TV, but thanks for having me.
Well, you got a great voice. I'd like to have you on again sometime.
Thank you.
And that dog behind you is really chilling out, isn't he?
Yeah, no, I don't think
Is that a dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it moved. That's right.
He's out.
I love dogs. He's cute. Anything for you to say, Robert, in closing? You got a way with words, like you said, in Phoenix. You like to do wordplay, so you have the floor.
Oh, I could wordplay it up. But no, thank you. Thanks for choosing us to talk about this so we can all share ideas together. Thanks. And Dash community, I love all of you.
Okay, and thank you. Great. Thank you for my viewers for watching. Bye. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed that interview. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to hear more from me in Cash Alternative TV episodes. Until next time, remember, Dash is a digital alternative to cash. Bye for now.